This is a Huddle Sports Network broadcast. You can find us on Roku TV, Amazon Fire TV, Facebook, and of course YouTube. Get all your NFL news here first.
He has time. He's got him. Side, Dobbs is there. Leaping grab. Touchdown. Touchdown.
Good morning. I think it's Monday. I hope everyone's having a good Monday morning. Good morning, Ken.
Morning there, buddy.
Good morning, Broski.
Ken, Joe, good morning.
And good morning, Joe. Yeah, good morning, everyone. So we took the weekend off from Hallis Hall, and because there won't be much to talk about. The second we take it off because it's Mother's Day, the Bears go out and sign five of their rookies. Most teams are signing their rookies right now. And Derek Carr retires. Go figure it out.
Yeah, man. It's Tyler Chuck time.
So, that's how does the retiring affects the cap for the Saints? They get some relief, but not a lot. Right?
Yeah, I didn't see.
Yeah.
Go ahead, bro.
No, I was going to say I actually haven't seen the numbers as far as what their cap hit or cap savings are. But yeah, it's going to be interesting to see what they do moving forward. They got Tyler Shuck and they got what's his face Rattler from last year. So we'll see if that's a potential landing spot for any like possible veteran free agent quarterbacks or anything as well.
So according to SI, they're saving $30 million in cap. They $30 million in cap relief because you're retired.
I heard something about it or something like that. Is that it was almost a mutual decision for him to retire? So it doesn't surprise me that they're getting some help there from his cap hit.
No, he had an 11-year career, not bad for Derek Carr. Not a bad career, made some good money, but yeah, $30 million in cap relief, that can go a long way to signing some free agents.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. So Joe, what's your take on Derek Carr retiring since he was with the Raiders so long, and you're the Raiders fan?
Give me 1 second. I'm trying to get my coffee going.
Oh, okay, my bad.
Yeah, how can you interrupt this process, man?
My bad. I get it.
No,
I get it.
All good, dude.
Speaking of coffee, there's a link in the chat for buying me some coffee because I need some coffee. Help! Send me some coffee. Got to keep the coffee machine fed somehow.
I would have liked to see Carr retire a Raider.
Me too. How long do you think till he's on Barstool Sports with his best friend Chucky?
But I don't think he's officially he's decided to retire, but I don't think he's officially filled out the retirement paperwork and all that yet.
No, but you got to figure that's coming pretty darn quick. They announced it this weekend. I'm sure they do it. He does it this weekend, so the Saints can get their cap relief, and then he can go sign a contract to be with his next door neighbor. Come on, man. Him and Gruden bought houses next to each other, man. They're besties. So,
I would like to see him sign a one-day contract with the Raiders and retire with the Raiders.
I don't think they can do that, though, because he's still under contract with the Saints. I think the Saints would have to terminate the contract, and that would probably screw up the relief. But yeah, it's weird. Well, that's good for the Saints. I mean, look at. Sometimes the teams, it's a business, but sometimes the teams fight. Hey, look, you retire, we'll let you keep your signing bonus, so free money, and don't take surgery. A deal for both.
Yeah, I mean, and I said, for the last couple months that Will Howard and Tyler Shuck are, the most NFL ready quarterbacks in this class, and will be the best quarterbacks in this class. And I think Tyler Shuck's gonna get his chance, early to go out there and prove himself. So we'll see what the guy can do.
Yeah. That's a pretty bold statement, but I think Tyler Shuck has the tools. I think he could be somebody. Will Howard, I mean, yeah, I think he could be okay, but I don't know to say they're going to be the best in the class. I think Cam Ward kind of got screwed going to Tennessee, but I think Cam Ward has a lot of potential, dude.
You know, I was kind of down on him, going into the draft. But the more research I've done, I'm kind of warming up to him. I think he might be more Steve McNair than Jameis Winston. But we'll see. But the guys I was completely sold on for ever since the season ended for college football are Will Howard and Tyler Shuck. I mean, I just think these guys, they played so much. They played a ton of football in college. They have the complete skill set. They have the arm. They can run. They can throw on the run. They can, they're intelligent. Curious to see what they do in the NFL for sure. Because I think there's actually a really good chance both guys are starting for their respective teams week one, and if not week one, soon into the season they will be.
Will Howard went to the Steelers, didn't he?
Yes.
That's interesting.
So, it's schedule release week. So I'm sure today we'll start seeing some droppings of who's playing the Europe. They'll release a couple of Europe games today or a couple of international games tomorrow. But Eric asks, who do I want the Bears to play week one? Before I answer, I'll give Broski, the other Bears fan here, an opportunity to answer that question. And I'll go around the panel for each of your first games. But Broski, who do you want the Bears to play week one?
So I know we've been kicking around the whole week one schedule with are the Bears playing in Philly? Are the Cowboys playing in Chicago? And that seems to be put to rest now because it was said that it was leaked that the Cowboys are going to be in Philly week one. Who I would like the Bears to see. I mean, maybe I'm mistaken, but it seems like they've been starting the season a lot with non-conference matchups. So staying with that trend, I wouldn't mind seeing them opening up against the Steelers. Maybe we catch them at a good time. Maybe they're starting Will Howard week one and it's his first career start. And plus, the Steelers are one of the teams in the league I don't hate. You know what I mean? They're kind of my dad's a Steelers fan. I was actually born in Pittsburgh. So I don't hate them. I respect that franchise. And I think that would be a cool-ass week one matchup.
So I'm going to steal Lucas' thunder here. I want the Bears at Detroit week one. Bears at Detroit. It's just the inverse of Cowboys at Bears. I want Bears at Lions. Ben Johnson goes home. First game out the gate, he goes back to Detroit to play the Lions. That's what I want out the gate. I know Luca wants Vikings at Lions on either Sunday Night Football or Monday Night Football. I think that would be a Sunday Night Football game, though. Bears Lions. Keep it divisional. If they're going to go with Cowboys Eagles, okay, keep it divisional, right? Like, let's see week one. Because remember, 2 years ago, it was divisional games early, divisional games late. I hated last year how the back 6-7 games was so much division play, so close. I don't mind it being first and last or first and middle. So, I'd like to see the Bears go to Detroit week one. I mean, that would be kind of a way to go. Or you could have them open with Detroit at home. But I think for ratings purposes, the NFL would much rather have Ben Johnson go Detroit week one. Ken, who do you want to see the Packers open up with?
Oh, give me any of the divisional opponents, because I can agree with you. I like opening the season against them and ending the season against the divisional guys. Give me the bookend for the fucking year. What's up there, Eric?
Yeah, I mean, Bears-Packers used to be an opening every year too, right?
Oh, believe me, I absolutely love starting the season going against the Bears.
Yeah, I mean, look, that's where you can have back-to-back losses. So you lose last game.
Yeah.
So who do you want to see the Raiders open with? Let me guess, Kansas City.
I mean, honestly, I was thinking that because Kansas City always starts the season real slow, so it'd be nice to try to get a win over them early. But honestly, just a team that we could beat. Like, I'd like to start the season 1-0. So I don't, I don't know what our schedule completely looks like. I know we play the Steelers, I think we play the Steelers. We play a couple. I don't know. I really don't know. I'm open to it. I just, I don't want the Eagles. I know that. Like week one, because I know we're playing at the Eagles this year. I don't want that game to be the opener.
Well, luckily the leak was Cowboys, so you don't have to worry about that week one. Let me go to another scheduling question before they get leaked. Because I didn't see that first leak. International games. Ken, Packers.
I want nothing to do with international games.
So do you think they might be going to one?
I've heard back and forth with the Steelers and Ireland that it's either going to be us or the Vikings, but at least more recently I've been hearing more of the Vikings. So I hope they're the ones that get it. I like the international games when it's not my team.
Yeah. What do you think, Joe?
I don't want any international games.
Are there any games the Raiders could snag internationally, though?
I don't know. I'd have to look at their schedule. I don't think they're playing the Steelers, and they don't have.
So they announced all the home teams for the international games, just not who their opponents are yet.
Yeah, correct. I don't know.
And all the home teams come from the AFC this year. I mean, the Jags are every year. The Jags are going to get 2 games in Europe, right? So the one London game, the Jags against whoever, and the other one's going to be someone against the Jags. So they do the back-to-back London games every year now. Lucas says the Vikings are a lock for Ireland.
Hey, I hope so.
When was the last time the Bears were in England last year? The Bears were in Sao Paulo last year. When was the last time the Raiders played internationally? It's been a few years, so they might be on deck.
They played in London a couple years ago.
So they could be on deck.
I hope not.
Oh, come on, let me see.
I don't like because for them it's quite a flight, dude, from Las Vegas to London, and then it always throws off their it throws off the game of the week after, and just I don't know. They always hit us with we'll have an international game and then we'll come back and we'll have the Thursday night game. They play games with the schedule with us. So
the 11 teams this year. Okay, so we get At Wembley, the Jags are going to be a home team. Their possible opponents for their home game at Wembley are the Texans, Colts, Titans, Chiefs, Chargers, Jets, Rams, Seahawks, or Panthers. Who's CBS Sports is projecting to be the Rams and the Seahawks. The Browns home game at Tottenham Hotspur Stadium. They can either get the Steelers, Bengals, Ravens, Bills, Dolphins, Titans, Packers, Niners, or Vikings. CBS is predicting either the Titans or the Niners. The Jets home game at Tottenham Hotspur. They could get either the Pats, the Dolphins, the Bills, the Browns, the Steelers, the Broncos, the Falcons, the Panthers, or the Boys. CBS predicts either the Cowboys or the Panthers. The Steelers in Dublin, they could get either the Ravens, the Bengals, the Browns, the Bills, the Dolphins, the Colts, the Vikings, the Packers, or the Seahawks. Lucas seems to think it'll be the Vikings. I could see that as well. And CBS projects it to be either Vikings or Seahawks. The game in Madrid at AC Milan. Jesus, I'm screwing up my soccer there. My Barcelona, Barca, their home stadium, the Dolphins game. They could get either the Bills, Pats, Jets, Ravens, Bengals, Chargers, Saints, Bucks, or Commanders. CBS predicts either the Commanders or the Bengals. The Colts in Berlin can get either the Texans, the Jags, the Titans, the Broncos, the Raiders, the Dolphins, the Cardinals, the Niners, or the Falcons. And CBS predicts the Broncos or the Raiders. Oh, in Sao Paulo, the Chargers game, basically it's going to be the Commanders or the Chiefs. Because you notice a lot of these teams, the shared teams, look at their possible opponents. Broncos, Chiefs, Raiders, Texans, Colts, Steelers, Eagles, Commanders, Vikings. A couple of these teams already are hosting games, right? So their list of possible opponents gets a little light. Then they got to look at, okay, so the one game the Bears are eligible for. Were the Bears even eligible for one? No, I don't think the Bears are. The Bears, I didn't list them at all, did I? But the Packers, here's a good one. The Packers, they're a possible opponent for Dublin. But the problem is they played in Sao Paulo last year. The Vikings didn't play internationally last year. So they tend to, flip it up a little bit. If you played internationally last year, you don't go 2 years in a row unless you're Jacksonville, right? Because they've actually said, hey, we want to do this. Everyone else, if you were international last year, odds are you're not going to be international this year for the most part unless you're hosting. So
I actually wouldn't mind the Colts in Germany.
Your mic's doing it.
I wouldn't mind the Raiders in Germany either. And Brent, to answer your question, it drops during Hallis Hall Report on Wednesday night, live. We're that scoopy.
Oh, John.
What did John say? I missed it.
The Raiders can't beat anyone.
Minshew's not our quarterback anymore, John.
Yeah, Barcelona, that's a beautiful stadium, historic stadium, of course. That's where Barca plays.
The bad man can't hurt us anymore.
the bad man in the van?
The bad man in the van can't hurt us anymore, John.
Luca is saying that Fox believed the Chiefs and Chargers are in Brazil.
Yeah, they leaked that one.
Oh, I didn't end up catching that, but hey, that's awesome.
Yeah, the leaks are going to start happening.
Ooh, but with that being a divisional matchup, do you think that kind of rubs home fans a little bit the wrong way? Because they get robbed of a divisional game, so to speak?
Is that
Do you think the NFL cares?
Yeah, kind of, but does the NFL care? No, not really, because here's why. The fans will get over it because they still get their 8 home games, but internationally they get to showcase a division rivalry game versus just 2 teams playing without.
No, I get why the NFL wants to do it. I'm just thinking from the fan perspective of, man, that's got to massively suck because I know I look forward to playing the divisional rivals massively. So I'm assuming that most everybody else does. And if you're by the stadium where you can go to those games, those are the games to go to.
But I'll tell you what, though, Ken. I mean, with Fox leaking that week one, with the 2 leaks we now have confirmed, the Chargers and the Chiefs, and the boys and the She-Eagles, looks like we're getting division games in week one.
Oh, hey, I'm hoping for it.
So Joe's not going to get the Chargers or the Chiefs. That means you're getting the Broncos in week one there, Joe.
That's fine. Bring them.
The question is, will it be a Mile High where that it's such an aptly named stadium because they're all high as hell, or probably the stadium probably smells like weed at this point.
God bless them too.
Or is it going to be in the Death Star? That's gonna be
it smells like trailer park.
You're outside, pour a little liquor out for Carr.
You know what? Like Carr, if you look at his career numbers, they're not bad, man. And like I like Carr. He did it the right way. He never threw people under the bus. Like
he was good. I like Carr. I liked Carr's whole career.
On the way out with the Raiders, he could have totally shit on him, and he didn't.
Did it?
I mean, his brother did, but nobody really cares what David Carr has to say. Like,
hey, John, I don't think this. Look for the Packers in Week 1. Actually, I don't think the Lions are the best storyline for the NFL in Week 1 for the Packers. I honestly think for the Lions, it's either a rematch of the Vikings-Lions game last year, or it's Ben Johnson goes back to Detroit. I think those are probably the two storylines that the NFL would rather push in week 1, or and if they go Vikings, Lions, last game of the season, and then Bears, Packers last game of the season, rematches, right? Those are good storylines because the Vikings kind of got embarrassed by the Lions at home that last game, and the Bears got kind of embarrassed the Packers with the game-winning field goal at the end, So I mean,
he snuck out that victory.
But still, you know what I'm saying? Like as far as NFL storylines, and the Bears Packers is always the oldest rivalry in the league. That's always a good storyline. But the NFL is all about how. And look at week 1 though, you can kind of get away with it. Week 1, you don't have to have the storyline. It's week 1.
That's I was just going to bring up that the storyline might not factor too much into it, because everybody's going to be jonesing for some actual football.
But it's probably they still like to sell a good storyline especially if you want the nationally televised game. You'd almost think that Ben Johnson goes back to Detroit is made for Sunday Night Football.
I'd much rather see that more in the middle of the season, once both teams have kind of gotten used to the adjustments that they've had to make. That way we get something that's a little more going to show what the teams are going to be like.
Yeah, good point, Ken. I was just going to say that, especially from the Bears' perspective, it's like I'd rather not play division games up front. They have a completely new coaching staff this year on both sides of the ball. So like to see them get their feet wet with maybe a couple non-conference games and maybe, some interconference games, but non-division games before they get going with their, divisional opponents. However, a Packers-Lions Week 1 matchup, there would be a chance I win my bet with Darcy Week 1.
Yeah, that'd be pretty damn awesome.
Yeah.
And I think we've lost. Yeah.
I'm looking at the Bears home opener, the Week 1 home opener against the Steelers. That's my new prediction.
I was going to say that wouldn't be a bad matchup for you guys, because they've got question marks on their fucking roster too.
Hey Ken,
For
I
sure.
wonder what the money line. I wonder what the betting odds are that Darcy uses any betting winnings on a new cuck chair.
Oh, jeez.
Like one of those nice, comfy gaming chairs,
Oh, gee.
Isaac said my comments made Ken jump.
Oh, But
Yeah, I mean, when the Bears do play in Detroit, I mean that's gonna be a good storyline. But like you said, man, I was thinking the same thing that you said, Ken. I'm like, honestly, for both teams, let's let them both get tuned up and kind of hit in stride before they play each other.
Yeah.
yeah, because I much rather see them kind of build up and lead to it. That way, it's not just hey, right out the gate. Because that to me kind of seems like a little bit of a waste of the storyline.
For sure. Yeah, man, it's there.
Shit, I think you got Luca excited.
It's just
Yeah, I had to do a double
gag,
take on that one. I'm like, did Joe just say that? Yeah, he did. Yes,
Oh,
he
yeah.
did.
Yeah, it's not
Yes,
the
he
first
did.
time I've mentioned Darcy in the cuck chair, dude. Like,
Mhm.
it's sort of a running thing on the show.
Yeah. That's why when Joe said it, all he got was a smirk out of me because I've heard it multiple times.
Well, Joe, what do you think about this bet? So we all know that the Lions actually swept the NFC North last year, right?
Mhm.
So this year, you know, Darcy was popping off a couple months ago on a show. I never met the guy before. Talking about how the Lions are going to sweep the NFC North again this year, and he's got $100 behind it. And I'm like, yeah, I'll take you up on that one, Chief.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah. Darcy's not known for.
What do you think? What do you think about that bet this year, Joe?
I think it looks like Darcy's chair is going to have to wait. I don't think they're sweeping the division this year.
Yeah, exactly.
I don't think anybody is sweeping the division this year.
I agree.
I think all four teams are going to cannibalize each other.
That definitely.
I think your division winner might end up like 4-2, and then the rest of the division is like 3-3 or 2-4. Like,
yeah,
you know, everybody's going to
man.
Everybody's going to beat everybody once. I think. Almost.
We'll see, but yeah, I mean, I could see it happening for sure.
Because I'm not sold on the Vikings, man. Like, I think they could be good, but they're starting JJ and
that's a problem.
I think expecting a rookie quarterback to take them to the playoffs, even with the talent they have, is expecting a lot.
I'll be right back.
In the division they have with the Broski, I hope you like it because that's what Darcy will pay you in. Oh, geez, that's. I don't know. I got nothing for that one, Isaac. I'll take your word for it, and I hope that's not the case.
I wouldn't trust anything Darcy cooked.
After the show, Broski will fill you in on that inside joke.
That was weird.
Yeah, man. But I hear you about the Vikings, man. And then that's been like you heard my rant yesterday, Ken, about Vikings fans, calling them Detroit fans light. I'm like you guys haven't even done as much as the Lions fans, and you're popping off like you're some kind of perennial powerhouse. It's like, okay, you've had a couple good regular season record, you know. And yes, the Bears have been in the basement during that time, but guess what? The Bears have the same amount of playoff wins as you guys over that same time. And now you're going into year 4 under KOC. So it's year 4 of the rebuild for the Vikings. Are you actually going to win a playoff game this year? Because if not, then you got to start questioning KOC, in my opinion. Is he really the right guy?
I mean,
You know?
I don't know. I think they kind of get a pass because they're starting a rookie quarterback.
Your mic's real low, Ken. We can barely hear you.
It comes back. Yeah, StreamYard gave me a weird DNS issue. Anywho. It comes back to North in general does not win playoff games. Like that's the argument I've been kind of making for the last couple of weeks. Is the Packers have been dominant North because the North has been so dysfunctional. And that's what the Packers in kind of like that middle roads, right, where they couldn't ever really take that next step because they were always getting that late draft pick, right? So they kind of got stuck in a good place, winning divisions, but not having tons and tons of playoff success. And then the rest of the division, when they do, like the Bears and the Vikings get a good season here and there, the Lions have had a couple wins, but we don't get playoff success. As a division, yeah, the division stuff is great, but as a division, when it comes playoff time, dude, our division sucks.
You're not kidding.
I was going to say we have relatively good success in the playoffs. It's just all the way up until the NFC. We win playoff games all the freaking time.
Not. Look at for as often as you guys are in the playoffs, you're not winning the playoff games that you would expect to be winning. Like look at Kansas City, who goes every year and wins 2 or 3. Well, actually, they just go to the AFC Championship game.
We've been to the NFC Championship game multiple freaking times. You got to win a couple playoff games to get there.
Well, sometimes you just got to win one to get there. Yeah, but I mean
that's still a win.
But still, you guys aren't winning those games. That's the thing. You're not getting 2 Super Bowls. None of us are. As a division, we suck. To include the Packers. Sorry, you're included in this division. And
but you just moved the goalpost from no playoff to success. Well, now it's not Super Bowls. Those are 2 different arguments.
All right, let me pull up the Packers playoff record since I'll call it Packers playoff record.
I would say shit. Rodgers brought us to 7 NFC championships alone.
We'll go since 1990 just to be fair.
But the Packers' last NFC championship, Ken, was that 2010? If I'm not mistaken.
That was way after that. Now that was the last win.
That's what I mean. NFC championship was that 2010?
Okay. Yeah.
Okay. Right. No, I'm just trying to figure. I'm not trying to be. I'm just trying to figure it out.
I get you.
All right, we'll go since 1990 here. Let's see how far they've gone. So they'll have some success. 94, they beat the Lions in an NFC wild card playoff win, and then they lose to the Cowboys the very next week. They beat the Lions in 90. Oh, that was also. I'm sorry, 90. What the heck? No, I don't want stupid mail from the Lions or from the Packers. 95, they beat Atlanta. Then they January 6th, they beat the Niners, and then they lose to the Cowboys. In 97, they beat the Niners, beat the Panthers, and they win a Super Bowl. All right. So that was 97. 98, they beat the Bucks, they beat the Niners, they lose a Super Bowl. 99, they lose to the Niners. 2002, now we're starting to get a little more current. They beat the Niners in the wild card, then lose in the divisional. The following year, they lose in the wild card. The following year, the 2004, they beat Seattle, lose to the Eagles. 2005, lose to Minnesota. 2008, win the divisional, lose to the Giants in the championship, NFC Championship. 2010, lose to the Cardinals in the wild card. 2011, all right, pretty good. They get to the Super Bowl and get a win. That's 2010 season, but 2011. All right, 2000. So since the Super Bowl, lose the divisional, lose the losing the wild card, losing the NFC Championship. There's a win there. They got to win that year. 1 win in that playoff run. The following year, they go 1-1 in the playoffs, win the wild card, lose divisional. 2017, lose the NFC Championship. 2020, lose the NFC Championship. 21, lose the NFC Championship. These were after all 3 of those years they had the bye, so they won the divisional, losing the championship. Lose divisional, lose wild card. So yeah,
we're gonna say it still sounds like there's a whole lot of playoff there.
Not great, better than anyone else in the division. I'll grant them that, but not great.
I was gonna say going to all those NFC championships don't sound that bad. Granted, it ain't no Super Bowl, but you got some success in the playoffs, and a decent amount of it.
So the Packers division, we are not good. The Packers bring us up a little bit, but they haven't been that good recently either. So, good morning, Yoli. As a division, we just aren't good. And we got to get better. And the thing is, like, you look at last year, I'm not jealous, John. I don't give a shit. Only you give a shit.
Come on,
Yep.
John, bring it. Come on, Dorn.
There you go, broski. As a division, we're terrible. And look, for as good as this division is, team-wise, we should be better. I am sorry. Last year, to have the 3 teams that go to the send 3 teams to the playoffs is not easy to do. Have all 3 go one and done? Oh my God, what an embarrassment.
I'll agree with you. Last year was an embarrassment for the division.
What an embarrassment. Now, and you know what? It's funny. I'm going to give the Packers the free pass because they knew they were like, look, we're probably not going to beat Philly. Ken was on here like, we're probably going to take the L. But, hey, whatever. We kind of got here a little ahead of schedule, so I'm cool with it. But Lions and Vikings, when you're 15 and 14 win seasons, dude. And you
Yeah, I mean, no, I totally agree with that, and I hear you because, like, and that's part of my gripe with like Vikings and Lions fans. It's like, dude, the Vikings were down. If I'm not mistaken, it was 24-3 at halftime in their playoff game. It was 24-3 at halftime. That game's over, like at halftime. So, way to go, guys. You know what I mean? It's not like you're playing a bunch of world beaters. You're, I mean, the Lions, same thing. I mean, that was just disgraceful. Golf. Yeah, Golf. Breaking news, guys. Golf just threw another INT.
Hey, you leave Jared's off alone.
God, I call this Mallard Golf.
Yeah, the North has to get better. Hey, Luca, it doesn't matter if the Vikings only lost to 2 teams. One of the teams they lost to was in the playoffs, and they were one and done. Last year gets to get erased now. We're about to start 0-0-0. And the fact that the division could not eke out a single freaking victory in the playoffs last year. For being such a powerhouse division that we're supposed to be. With that.
Well, and I just want to point out to Dorn that the Raiders this year are not going to be the worst offense in the league. Like, just want to point that out. Like last year, yeah, that's a fair argument. They probably did have the worst offense in the league, but I don't expect that this year.
What do you guys think about the Vikings' outlook for this season? I know Joe and I both think they're taking a step back with having to start a first-year quarterback.
Before I go there, I just want to say this to John. That bum quarterback, the guy you call a bust, beat you at Lambeau last year. Sorry.
And like I said, Jamarcus Russell even won a couple of games.
But Jamarcus Russell wasn't undefeated at Lambeau, though.
Oh, I know. I'm so scared.
Ken. Caleb Williams. They're gonna have to put his name on the stadium, dude.
Especially if you go up there week 1 and win, right? If it's week 1 at Lambeau,
we put him in the Ring of Honor.
Yeah.
Caleb goes up there. We get the Packers week 1. Let's say Caleb goes up there and gets win number 2, right? I mean, then we were going to be cooking with a little fire there.
So if that happens, does that mean at the Bears' new stadium they're going to put a statue of Rodgers out front?
No, because he's long gone. That's ancient
history. No, but I'll bet you.
Now we're going the Detroit path. Let's put the fucking Lions blinders on.
No, we're talking current. We're talking current.
Man, are you reading the Lions script with that one?
No, we're talking current. I mean, look at Rodgers owned everyone in the division for a decade. I mean, whatever. I mean, but the new owner is in town, and his name is Caleb.
Well, hey, and I'll bet this though, if we do get Bears Packers week 1 in Lambeau and the Bears win, they're going to be hanging a banner at Soldier Field because they got a streak going, dude.
No, we don't do the banners. That's Detroit.
Yeah, man. I wonder if they're going to engrave Love's name at the new Bears stadium too, since he's the owner of the Bears at their house.
Well, that'll change this year too. So.
Yeah.
2 wins doesn't really make you an owner yet. Same goes for Caleb. He's got to win more than 2.
Hey, there we go. Love's undefeated in Chicago, so.
I mean, the Bears have been pretty pathetic the last couple of years, and they always find, like last year was new and interesting ways to lose games. Hey, let's get a field goal block. Hey, let's mismanage the clock. Hey, look, let's just call for the same exact running play in Indianapolis. We'll call the same play 4 times. I'm sure it'll work on the last time. Right?
Let's give up a Hail Mary at the end of the game.
Yeah. I mean,
let's hand the ball off to our third string center on the goal line. That was probably my favorite.
They found new and interesting ways to lose games last year. Jesus.
I think you got that reversed. I was going to say, because Rodgers sure fucking dirty dicked them a couple of times.
Yeah, I mean, the cool thing about our division, every team's got a little something they can say. Yeah, well, hey, you know what, Luca? I'm happy you bring that up because here's the new papal gear.
Oh.
Holy sacrilege.
Just so you guys do know, the Pope is a Bears fan. Yeah. So, Bears Twitter is awash with us winning the Super Bowl now because the Pope is a Bears fan. Leave that to only in America, dude. Like they could have been a Pope from Munich, and the people in Munich are going, oh well, Bayern Munich's going to win everything now because the Pope is a Bayern Munich fan. But in the U.S., we get our first Pope ever from the United States, and the first thing that we do is attach sports to it. Only in America, buddy. Only America. I mean,
right,
love it or leave it. Love it or leave it.
Yeah, Cubs fans are mad because the Pope is a White Sox fan. They have pictures of him at the 05 World Series for the Sox. So Cubs fans are mad about that. But he's a Bears fan. So Bears fans like, oh, there's gonna be a Portillo's outside the Vatican now. Yeah, Chicagoans went full ham. They're like, we're putting Portillo's outside the Vatican. We're gonna put a Vienna beef hot dog stand out over there too. It's not going to be sacrilege to put ketchup on a hot dog worldwide. Well, yeah, because we don't do ketchup on hot dogs in Chicago. So that's what the tomato slice is for.
Or anywhere.
Yeah, I know. But
does that mean that there's going to be a rise in atheism in Chicago when the Bears lose again?
Well, I think that's part of the current problem in Chicago.
I just think it's funny, though, that when they announced the Pope, and look at I was part of that problem on X too, that they went straight to sports. I mean, the first thing I saw was posted like, look, the city of Chicago produced a Pope before a 4,000-yard passer. Yeah. I mean,
hey, I just want to say, can you really blame Chicago for their atheism, though? When was the last time the Bears gave them something to believe in?
The Cubs gave us a World Series in 2016. The Blackhawks gave us Stanley Cups.
No, I said the Bears. When was the last time the Bears gave them something to believe in?
Well,
that's it, Joe.
Hey, it's all right, Ken. I'm a Raider fan, so I'm a Raider fan. So, but we're just stupid. We keep believing even though we shouldn't.
Yeah. Like, well, no, we believed in 18 and 19. 19 had started to wear off. By 20, it was gone. But 18, when we won the division, we were believing. 19, hey, we're going to playoffs again, great, and then dropped the ball in the end zone against the Aints. So there goes that idea. And then went back to like the lovable losers curse, like they just put their Cubs hats on and said, well, we're just gonna be lovable losers at the Bears game. We've been terrible. Like we've been.
I mean, lovable might be a stretch, but okay. I said lovable might be a stretch, but okay.
Well,
dude, we got delusional Raider fans on the subreddit talking about a deep playoff run this year, and I'm like, I gotta tell them like, hey, dude, pump the brakes,
So, but that's the weird thing though, because like, look at Isaac is singing some music this morning. Got some.
My God, where's the guy in the members only jacket? I'm getting scared here.
But I mean, like you look at this division, and yeah, to go back to what Broski was saying before I brought up this other thing is the Vikings, even with JJ, all he's got to do is game manage. The rest of the team is talented. They could go places. If you look at the North in general, any one of these 4 teams or all 4 of these teams have the potential of going deep in a playoff run when you look at the personnel on these rosters. Like all these rosters in the North are pretty damn good. So, I mean, that's frustrating thing about the North. And when you look at the Bears, you want to talk about being frustrated. I think Bears fans are frustrated. You look at the roster last year, like, how do we not win more games? You look at, like, after 18 and 19 going to 20, like, how the hell did the wheels fall off so fast? And then, I mean, we've had good players. We've had shitty coaching, shitty management, and now you look at the last year, you're like, he built the roster. There was legitimate reasons to be looking at last year going, we're going to win some games. And you start out 4-2. It's like, wow, see, look, it's going to happen. And then you go on like an epic 10-game losing streak because you just like find new and interesting ways to lose a game every week, right? So I get it from for a fan perspective. There is reason for hope. You look at these rosters that are good. Why the hell are we not seeing it translate to the field? And when you look at the Lions, you look at the Vikings, 14, 15-game winners, how the hell are you getting killed in playoff games by lesser opponents? These rosters are all good. They could all go deep.
Jaden Daniels.
That's a good answer, Joe.
Jaden Daniels is just that dude.
No, he's not. He has good coaching. They had good coaching and they had a great game plan going into Detroit. He's not that great of a quarterback. He was a good rookie quarterback. He's not the Messiah. I mean, they overachieved last year as a team. His numbers were not otherworldly. They were good, very good numbers for a rookie. Yeah, but he's not the Messiah. He's not the next coming of the quarterbacks of the. He's good, yes, but let's not put him in Joe Burrow land yet. He's not there.
I wouldn't step away what I missed.
Land, but I saw what I needed to see from him last year. Like, he was bringing them back in fourth quarters, like, winning games that they weren't supposed to win. Like, I'm fairly convinced that by the end of this year, he's going to be a top 5 quarterback.
I think he was well coached. I looked at their offensive line. I looked at the Bears' offensive line, personnel wise, not much difference. But the Commanders got much more out of theirs. Coaching was massive in his success last year. Now we're looking,
but also they also had a much lesser. They had less good skill players. Their defense was questionable. Like, he did a lot more with a lot less as far as skill positions go. So, like, I don't know. I think Jaden Daniels is the real deal.
Well, Mitch, I'm sorry. You don't get to blame your coaching in Detroit after 3 years. All our coaches are so awesome. Then you lose a playoff game. Oh, it was the coaches that all left to become head coaches somewhere else. No, I'm sorry, Mitch. That argument does not work.
But can you really blame Ben Johnson? Because I thought it was Dan Campbell all along now.
Yeah,
or maybe you should blame Johnny Morton, even though he wasn't on the team. Because apparently, even though he wasn't on the team, he was the reason why Detroit was so good. So what are we talking about?
Yeah, and it wasn't Dan Campbell throwing them interceptions either.
I mean, it's just I can understand.
It's pick an excuse. It's like a card game, like Uno. It's pick an excuse by the Detroit Lions. You got an array of cards, each with a different excuse, and some of them are the same thing. Just I mean, what are we doing, guys?
Well, it's funny you bring that up, Joe, because I think the Bears put the Uno reverse on the Lions, taking Ben Johnson from them.
Well, I don't know. I actually have hope for the Bears with Ben Johnson, and I think that he's at the very least he'll be better with Caleb than Eberflus was. So I expect to see Caleb play better. And they added some pieces in the draft. Like, I don't see any reason why the Bears can't be better than they were last year.
It's pure coaching.
Shout out Joe.
Joe. I mean, I agree with you, but for me, on coaching wise, what made me happy was when we hired Ben Johnson, we went out and got a bona fide good DC. Because the Bears have been doing this thing where they get the head coach and the OC or the DC they hire to go with that coach it's first time or questionable. This time they went out and they got a good DC to go with a good, first time head coach who was highly touted because of his offense he ran. But they brought in a good defensive mind to come in with an offensive mind. And Bears have not done that in a long, long time.
I'm kind of getting. Oh, I'm sorry, I can't finish. I thought you were done.
Well, I was going to say the best we could have, and it didn't really work, was when Lovie Smith brought in Mike Martz, who was the architect of the greatest show on turf. That might have been the last time you had a defensive-minded head coach who brought in a bona fide offensive coordinator, right? And it worked. Go ahead, Broski.
Yeah, I was going to say, I'm still getting used to the fact that, like, the Bears have a very nerdy-looking coaching staff. Like, they got a bunch of coaches that look like nerds. Like Ben Johnson, you got that Declan Doyle. Dennis Allen looks like a nerd. Like, I'm thinking that might be a good thing because it seems like most of the good coaching staffs in the league anymore, the guys literally look like nerds out there. So, maybe we're going in the right direction now. We'll see.
Oh man, did you see that? Dorn said the Lions are a third-year expansion team. That's pretty good. That's pretty good, Dorn.
The Redskins had good offensive coaching. Their offensive coordinator last year, he did the full floor. He set that offense up for success with his play calling, his scheme. Coaching makes a huge impact, and we always wash it over because we don't see the coaches like we see the players, or at least not the coordinators. We blame head coaches. Well, Chicago, we do talk about offensive coordinators because most of the guys we have been shit. But I mean, dude, he doesn't get enough credit there in DC. Like, they were really well coached for a team of nobodies that no one expected to do anything to make it all the way to the NFC Championship game. Big prop to that coaching staff for putting that team in position.
Yeah, but you also need a guy that can make the throws. And there were plenty of times last year where the play broke down and Jaden Daniels used his feet and bought time and made the plays that he needed to make.
But I agree with you, Joe. He's going to be a good quarterback, but he's not the Messiah.
Well, what do you mean by Messiah? I mean, like, is he going to?
They're not where they are just because of Jaden Daniels. He's a part of that equation, but he's not like. Oh, he didn't set the NFL on fire last year because of his own personal talent.
I think he's an integral part of that equation.
Well, of course, he's throwing the ball. But, I mean, like, he's good, but I wouldn't anoint him as a top 5, top 10 quarterback yet. Like, give me 3 years at that level, and then we can talk. He had a really good 1 year with great coaching that put him in a great position to win, like LaFleur does for Love. Let's see how he does in year 2 and 3. Kind of like let's see what Love does this year in Green Bay. Because look, this is a question mark year for Love. Is he the long-term franchise guy that they think he is, or is he just a good quarterback who we're going to keep for a couple of years while we search for the next guy? Like I don't think Love is going to be a bust. I don't think he's a bust, but he might not be the guy. And that's what this year for Green Bay will kind of determine. Because year 1 sets Green Bay on fire. Year 2, kind of a mixed bag, right? Well, actually, year 1 was a mixed bag. The first half of year 1, they were like, oh, bring in Clifford. And then he turns it around the second half and has a great run and everything gets forgotten. Last year was kind of a mixed bag. He didn't have a great season. So for Love, let's see what season 3 looks like.
Yeah, last year I look at it as more of a lateral move for Love that he didn't really regress. Granted, some areas, yes, but other areas he did better. I think it was just a lateral freaking move. And now I want to see that big jump because now you got what all of us Packer fans have been asking for is get him a legit number 1 guy. Now you got to produce.
Yep. I mean, that's a fair assessment for Love, I think, this year. Just like for Caleb, like, look, I expect him to regress in a couple statistical areas sophomore year, but I also expect more wins and a lot more out of him with the new coaching staff and the weaponry he has. So,
honestly,
go ahead.
Honestly, I think the only real regression that you're going to see from Caleb is the touchdown to interception ratio. I think the whole rest of it should be a hell of a lot better than last year, or at least you hope so.
Yeah, I mean, he threw for 35.
Even on that, I don't think it's going to be a regression in the sense like I think the numbers will be different because I think he's going to throw more touchdowns and he'll throw more interceptions. I don't think that it's going to be a regression like he's going to go down in touchdowns and up in interceptions. And I know that's not what you were saying either, Ken. You're just saying that the numbers will look different. I don't know, but I don't know if you can count that as a regression. Like if he throws 30 touchdowns and
Yeah.
9 or 10, 12 picks.
I'm just reading this one at face value type of shit.
Yeah, John expects Caleb.
Does Caleb make it to the bye week now? That's a storyline.
So, like Caleb threw for 3,500 yards last year. I expect that number should go up. Joe, like Ken and I were in the same sheet of music. I think the TD to touchdown ratio it goes more. Gets changed where there'll be some more interceptions. Not that he's going to throw less touchdowns, but there'll be some more interceptions this year. I think that maybe even the completion percentage, we might see a little bit of a drop in that overall. But QBR might be up. You might see, less sacks. You should see less sacks, but you might see more runs. I mean, it's going to be.
You better hope you see less sacks.
Yeah, I know, right?
With all that you guys have invested in the offensive line, there better be less sacks.
The money, so they got to see something now. I mean, and that's the other piece. Like, hey, we've given you an offensive line. We just went and spent the money. Now, look, if these guys aren't injured, you have no excuses. We gave you a better offensive line. Also, there's no excuses for Poles or the coaching staff. You spent a bunch of money to get this offensive line, and you've got a bunch of money in draft capital invested in the weaponry. You need to produce. Now, the defense looks pretty good. Look, it's kind of steady, been somewhat steady state. They've done some tweaks, try to bring some guys in, but they need to produce this year. If the Bears don't win at least 8 to 10 games, John.
Yeah, if I was you, I'd be happy if you got to 7 there, and anything past that, I'd say would be gravy.
I don't think 7's it. 7's not it. 2 wins, nope. Bears fans are going to want to see 8 and 9 minimum. 8 and 9. They'll be okay with the losing season if it's 8 wins. But the Bears fans want to see a winning season. And with what you've got on this team talent-wise, you have no excuses.
It's just the whole you added an entire new coaching staff, so temper the expectation type of stuff.
Nope, that's not going to happen. Honestly, I'm telling you, it's not going to happen in Chicago because look, it's Ben Johnson. Look what he did there in Detroit, and look at the capital that they've put into this team. Bears fans don't want to hear that, Ken. I hate to say it. You may be right, but Bears fans don't want to hear it. They want to see at least 9 wins this year. That's going to be their benchmark. I mean, they're like this. Look at this is the 4th draft for Poles. They need to start seeing results. And the new coaching staff. Oh, we're playing the AFC North mid-game circumstances. I think even though those are good arguments, I think Bears fans we don't care. We want to see at least 9 wins.
I mean, I get the mentality, but that's just setting yourself up for a little bit of heartbreak.
I agree, but I mean, fans are going to fan, and I don't disagree completely with that mentality because they've got a point. I mean, this team was better than a 5-win team last year. I mean, they hung tight in a lot of games, found a lot of interesting ways to lose that hopefully they don't repeat again this year. You shouldn't be losing the Hail Marys and blocked field goal kicks this year. Those are games you should be winning. So we'll see. We'll see. But hey, we'll see tomorrow. And exactly, Mitch. You guys still suck. So we'll see with that terrible last take. We'll see you guys in the morning. Hope you have a great Monday and keep looking for those leaks from the NFL. Let's find out who the international games are. Have a great day, everyone.